Alright, welcome back guys. Welcome to your first time here. I'm Vision here at Binary Team up bringing you guys another video. Today I'll be giving you guys my review for The Walking Dead World Beyond Season 1 Episode 8. The Sky is a Graveyard. Now if The Walking Dead is something you're interested in, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and hit that bell icon. There to miss more Walking Dead content from me moving forward. Now let's begin. So, we got episode 8 of The Walking Dead World Beyond the Sky is a Graveyard. Now, I know this episode has been getting a lot of praise by fans. However, personally, I did not find it that great, and I was not a big fan of this episode. I was actually more annoyed and confused by the episode than okay with it. First off, it was mainly focused on Silas. We did get some of his background, and it is confirmed he pretty much did kill his father. And okay, so we get the flashbacks of him killing his father. Now that's fine. That I'm okay with the flashbacks. That's fine and dandy. However, my one biggest issue is the way the flashbacks are portrayed, because we'd get like a minute or two of flashback, then we go back to the present time, then a little bit later we'd get a minute or two of the flashbacks again, and then we go back to the present. I would have really liked if they had, spaced it out a bit and put more of these clips together rather than have teeny tiny chunks in between the story. I feel like that would have worked better instead of just having these snippets of the flashbacks here and there throughout the episode. I think they could have combined them better and made the story better, and that's just how I feel. It just felt like the flashbacks were just off and just felt like they were just there. I mean, I'm fine with his background. It's not like something I'm crazy about, but I'm still okay with it, and I just feel like the way they were, put into place in the episode just felt clunky. But yeah, so we got this whole thing where the group's trying to figure out what to do with Silas. You got some of them who want to, exile him, and then you got people like Elton who wants to help him and prove his innocence, which is fine. I didn't really have an issue with that. Elton, it felt like he was an afterthought, and they were like, okay, so what do we do with Elton? And that is just that what they came up with, which I kind of don't like, but I'm kind of giving it a pass on. But, it's alright. Now, I was also confused within Silas's flashbacks, because you see him as a kid in one of the flashbacks, and you see him and his father in their, I think, his bedroom together when he's like probably about 8, 10 or something like that, and his father says this is what music sounds like, and he puts on the radio or whatever, and it's blasting. Now, from what I was kind of confused, because the way the setup of the house looked, it looked pretty normal, like the pre-apocalypse. However, he mentions that it was like what music sounded like before all this happened. So it makes me confused as to when this actually happened. I mean, when Silas it's seen that he killed his father, it looks like he's not much different in age than here. So it's kind of weird. And then you got the whole thing where the social worker cop shows up at his door looking for his mom. And it just, again, feels like it's an average day. Meanwhile, the age Silas looked in those flashbacks doesn't look much different than he is now. Maybe it's just me, but it didn't really look like a post-apocalyptic world. His mom was said to be at the store or work. I forget exactly what it was, but it just felt like it was clunky. I felt like they didn't really know what they're doing. It didn't feel cohesive and going together very well. It just felt clunky. And then you got his father turning, and then you got him looking for his dad throughout the house, and then his dad attacks his mom when she returns home, and then Silas, kills his father in a brutal way, similar to how his father was abusive towards him. Now, following that incident, you got his mom who freaks out and is in the corners, is scared of her own son. Now, I don't know, I feel like the actress's moment of this was a bit over the top, and two, I feel like it was too quick the way the mom freaked out about her son killing her husband. It just, I don't know, it didn't fit right there. But we do also get to see Silas's thing with the headphones and music and everything there, which I did like. If it followed in line with some of those things, so I did like that. But I mean, it felt, again, like this was a gateway point that they had to get through just to get to next week, and it just felt boring. And like I said, you got them trying to figure out, you got Hope talking with Huck, still trying to go, figure out what to do between her and Elton's mom. And everything else just kind of felt like filler. And then you get towards the end of the episode, and Hope finally tells Elton that, she killed his mom. And, it felt like to me, it feels like it should have been this bigger, huge moment in the show, and instead it just felt like a, whimper. Like the idea of it came in with a roar, but went out with a whimper. It just felt extremely weak the way it was put down, and I just really didn't like it. And at the end of the day, Elton is exiled, and then Silas, who believes he's innocent, decides to go off on a journey with Silas. So that's how it went. And then you got Hope, who, when she tells him this, I'm getting really sick and tired of this because they have these emotional moments, especially with Hope. And every time you have an emotional moment with Hope, she's always breaking down and crying. Now, I don't know if this is the actress's fault in doing this and, crying over everything. But to me, it just feels, one, over the top, and two, unnecessary. Because whenever you portray an emotional moment on a TV show, doesn't mean you have to cry and break down into tears every time you do an emotional moment. There are so many times in the main show where you'll see characters like Daryl or Carol break down into sad moments, but they're not crying and choking up. And I feel like this Hope does this all the time when you have to do an emotional moment with her, and it just feels repetitive, over the top, and just really ridiculous and annoying and not realistic. So it really frustrated me there. So yeah, that I feel like that pretty much just sums up the episode. There wasn't much else that happened, and I'm probably missing certain things, but these are the main things that stuck out to me within the episode. But then you get to the big end of the moment, and it's revealed that Huck is actually working for CRM and is the daughter of Elizabeth. Now, I feel like this is being put off as this huge reveal, besides the point that she is Elizabeth's daughter, which, yeah, is a big shocker in a sense, but it wasn't that huge of a shock. But the fact that she is a spy just felt so, like, predictable. Like, I feel like everybody's treating the whole, her being with CRM and working for them as a spy, as this big, huge reveal. And to me, it just felt way too predictable. And the thing I'm also confused about is, when she returns to talk with Elizabeth, was this in between episodes 5 and, I think it's 7, when she left at the end of 5 and then returned in the beginning of episode 7? Is this when this takes place, or did she leave at the end of this episode and then she meets up with them at the end of this episode? Like, I'm confused in the timeline here. I really hope it's explained. Maybe if you know the timeline, let me know in the comment section. But I was just so confused with how that worked out. And again, this just, I don't know, this just felt like a weak episode. I didn't really like it. The whole thing with Huck just felt so predictable. The stuff with Silas and his background was fine. It just felt a bit clunky. And the whole big emotional moment with Hope and Elton just felt just weak. It just felt like it fell flat on its face and just wasn't this big emotional impact that it should have had. So I just didn't really like this episode, especially since we're almost at the finale next week. It just felt like it was weak. And I get it, people are saying it's this great episode. I just didn't find it that way. But if I had to give it a grade, I'd probably give it a 6.5 out of 10, maybe 7, but nothing above a 7. 6.5 to 7 out of 10. It just felt weak, clunky, and just way too predictable. So 6.5 to a 7 in my opinion. But let me know your thoughts and opinions about this episode in the comment section down below. So yeah, guys, that's my review of The Walking Dead World Beyond Season 1 Episode 8, The Sky is a Graveyard. As always, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and share. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and hit that bell icon. There to miss more Walking Dead content from me moving forward. And you can go follow me on Instagram and Twitter, which is linked in the bio section of my YouTube channel. As always, this has been Vision Hero Blind Entertainment, and I'll see you next time.